Hey, I'm Patrick with Rowdy Restorations. Today, we're on the way to Rantoul. We stopped at the John Deere dealer here next to the hotel. Very similar deal to what we did when we went to Classic Green. It's just a good spot for us to stop. Met up with our friends from Canada. They are coming to the show with us. And got all of our junk on the trailer here. Nothing's fallen off yet. I think we can make it. We're only an hour away now, hour and a half. So stay tuned and we'll be at the show. Well, we're pulling in. We made it.
Smells like a show, right?
Got to go down here and get registered, and usually I'm pretty darn self-sufficient. I just go somewhere in the back corner and unload, but now that I've got this disc on the front of here, I got to go to the unloading area. Hey, check out that John Deere B with the sprayer on it. Might be an A. Pretty cool. First ride through. We've got to go get the tractor moved into a spot. I got to see where I'm going to park it at, but check it out. There's more stuff here than you can imagine if you've never been here before. It's like muscle tractor heaven. Check it out. You guys will recognize this from the Boss show. And then I think Kevin pulled off way more than I did to get here to the show. When we were at his show, he was telling me about this project, and he did not have tracks on it yet before. Or let me rephrase that. He did not have tracks on it yet when we were at his show. And in the 3 weeks or so that it's been, he's got that project done. He said he had a little bit of a hiccup loading, but it's here. I parked the 2020 over here. It's all done, ready to go. So far, I think the load control shaft seals might be holding. It did not have a giant puddle of oil underneath it on the trailer, so that's good. Check out the half-track D. And they get it out and they plow with it. They had it out at Renner's plowing last year, I guess that would have been. That was before I was taking video all the time for you guys. Pretty darn cool rig right there. There are muscle tractors everywhere here. Also gators and side-by-sides everywhere as well. But Heritage Irons tent. I'm sure they run wide open this whole show. Check this out. We were at Renner's last year. That's an awesome show, but look at the rubber on this 7520. Good Lord. There's the 5020 that he brings every year down here. Repowered with a Detroit. A Kinsey repower, that is. But man, look at those tires. That is some massive rubber. A little Steiger over here. These guys are all lined up here getting ready to plow. They'll follow through. If you follow this line down, they're going to follow directly behind the corn pickers. They'll basically have that far field harvested and plowed before you can even tell what happened. If you get distracted over on the other end looking at something in the vendor field, they'll have a whole entire field harvested and plowed under before you even realize they were out here. the old corn pickers. I think she was at the Boss show. All this stuff will be working, shelling corn and everything once they get done out in the field. So they harvest everything with the old equipment, sell it with all the old equipment, then they bring it over here to the modern equipment where they can store a decent amount of it and load it up. Got a few Farmall 1206s lined up down through here. Cars you can see down through there. More than one row of them too. Check it out, they've even got cool rollers here. Look at the Oliver roller. I have never seen one quite set up like that. I've seen some tractors on top of these things before, but that's slick. And just look at the muscle tractors at this place. 40/20, front wheel assist, side console. 1466. Farmall, John Deere 6030. 6030 just seems like a normal size tractor when you're at this place. It's unreal. 1066 front wheel assist. 5020 repower with a 903 in it. A 5010. Man, look at that. Unreal. And then look at the largest flying flag flying in the background right there. They got Prairie tractors out there plowing now. We'll get over there in just a second. Now, one thing I will say, this stuff is impressive, but look at this place. It's like a zoo. These field marshals out here get very, very serious about when you're too close, which is understandable, but lift the plows. Hey, right here's the world famous Cleveland Carter, right from Baxley, Georgia.
Yeah, that's right.
That right there is back when a feller had to work for a day, huh?
Yeah.
You think you gotta chase a old 7.3 or something down the road with loose steering. Look at the chain steering on that thing. We saw one like that at the Boss show. That's got the opposed cylinders on it. Wild. The combines are lined up over here on this front field next to the Prairie tractors. Prairie tractors are plowing. Kevin's got his 3300 with tracks on it. Looking forward to see that working. Minneapolis Moline Jetstar front wheel assist with a matching combine. That's pretty slick right there now. And propane too to top that off. Another John Deere. That's a 3300 too. You guys have to cut me a little bit of slack on combine stuff. I don't know much about models and information on combines. this field, they're kind of doing short rows right now. They're going down about halfway and then backing up and resetting. So that's why they're not just one after another coming through here. Here comes Kevin Boss on his 3300 John Deere on tracks. Pretty slick. He did not have this thing together yet, ready to go, when we were at his show 3 weeks ago. Well, he's still going down through there, so I think that was a success. He was a little bit worried about it. He said he just got it together and it's untested, so there you have it. Looks like it's doing its job. Got a Minneapolis Moline Jetstar coming up next. Okay. Pretty cool operation right there. Not sure if there'll be any Waterloo boys plowing at this show or not, but they do have one here. I'll never forget one year they had a GP picking corn and a Waterloo boy pulling the barge wagon here. That was an awesome display. There's Dan's crawler. You guys saw that at the Bosch farm show. There's the 2020. And look at that. Thought that was cool bringing my disc. They got John Deere disc over there that folds up. Guess I'm slacking. This ground here is unbelievably hard to plow. Saw those bottoms tripping, resetting on that one. The muscle tractor plowing is obviously a big draw here. You can tell by the people in the field here, like moths to a flame when these things started plowing. I brought a tractor and a disc to a show. It's for sale. I might have to make another trip to get that back home. Friday morning out here. Look at these tractors lined up ready to plow this next field. .40-20 with a 4-bottom mounted plow. Man, look at that 830. Listen to that 830. Nice. 4-bottom full type plow. We got, looks like a style G and an unstyled G hooked together. There's the R. He should be able to handle that plow no problem. 1066 International. .60-30. Another 60-30. .1466 International. .630 with the cab. This thing out. Look at that. Now that is cool. Cat D2 with a winch, pulling a little dump trailer on tracks. Pretty slick. Check this guy out. 4230 with the bat wing, mow the corn stalks down. If you've got a rig like this here, I think you can work about as much as you want to, because there's not a whole lot of guys with mowers here. And then these guys here all have discs and cultipackers and stuff like that behind their rigs. They can also work about as much as they want. Check it out, we made it over to the cat display area, because you know it's been 100 years for Caterpillar. They have brought some pretty cool equipment out. They got all the power units lined up right here. They got an old Holt, 1912 Holt. Man, these are just impressive machines. scope this out. 1918 Holt 10 ton. Oh, these are SE Films. I've been watching their stuff on this one on the on their channel that they've got there. Pretty cool. So if you follow along on their channel, you'll see where they've been doing these boxes and stuff like that, or working on that box over there. Found the shovel mount and stuff like that. Anyhow, got talking to the fellers with SE Films there for a minute. That is a pretty cool custom job. So that's built out of a Cub Cadet. But that's slick, I like it. Number 1 driveway patrol, there you go. Motorized wheelbarrow. Hey, this is what I'm familiar with right there. I know how to run one of them. That is a rather large post hole digger. Caterpillar 10. Looks like they're moving up in sizes as we go. We got a 10. Well, we skipped right to a 60. And check out the custom gray D6. 100 years of Caterpillar. Man, now that is a machine right there. They've come a long ways, I'll say that. Here's a RD4, the 20,000th Caterpillar.
Yeah.
And I do believe this feller here, Chuck, out of Champaign, right down the road. We'll just give another shout out to SE Films over there. They did a tour of this feller's place. I think they had 2 episodes on it. Pretty neat little show. This would be his too. Remember looking at that in that video. Caterpillar 15, a 20, and a 30. It's also why these are all called crawler tractors. Even the as you know, nickname for that D6 over there, everybody calls them dozers, because most of the time they all have push blades on them now, but they used to be more of a tractor, and the dozer blade was an option. So a lot of people that are in the business still call them tractors, and that's why. Here's a 10. That's like a row crop setup there. Look at that. It's got cultivators on it. It's set up high enough to clear a crop. It looks like a high crop, but it's not really a high crop. Well, they do call it a high crop. That's pretty cool. Caterpillar D4. There you go. It's the first D2 5J I. Cat 10. Caterpillar D2. And a 15. Man, the Cat guys have made a good showing this year, that's for sure. RD6. That's how you know they're the older ones, when they have... Oh, this is Chuck Feller again. Out of Champaign. He's definitely got some equipment, and it looks like he put the effort in to get a bunch of it here. There's several semi-loads already. Check it out. They got the old military equipment out here too. It's a little tiny dozer over there. We'll have to go get a closer look at that. These old displays that these guys put up of the military equipment are pretty cool. They had a really neat one at Oshkosh. It was just like walking back into World War II. Look at this guy here. It is tiny. It's like a little airborne tractor or something. U.S. Marine Corps. Not much information on it, but that is really neat. Yeah. Oh, about ate it right there. Sorry. August 21st, 1943, duty roster. Got all the tents that these guys would have stayed in. Really cool. Here's the other crawler tractors. More my speed there. John Deere 1010. Got a nice little disc behind it. That's cool. I like that. And then another super cool piece. Look at this. GPO with fenders. That's a rare bird right there. Out of New Jersey. Dang. He's come a long ways too. He's got a 430 all fuel crawler too. Also, same guy out of New Jersey. That's a nice little tractor right there. 3-point. Man, that's slick. I need to talk Casey into getting one of those. Alice Chalmers. Here's a cleat track. A BO. D2. Man, they've got the cat equipment out here. Look at the scraper tractor. Would you look at the scraper tractor they've got loaded up over there? I guess they're not going to unload it, maybe, but that was cool. Now, would you look at this rig? I saw it pulling in yesterday. Man, what a nice setup. Old school Pete. Winch truck at that. Hauling a detach with a very nice cat crawler on it. I don't know what year that is, except that it's old. Nice. Really got to give guys props that bring stuff like that to these shows. Then they got a nice scraper tractor back there. Looks like they got a big cat show coming up in September. It's in Iowa though. I don't have anything scheduled for September, but I don't think I can pull that off. Now that right there, that is a display. Doesn't look like they're gonna unload it, but on one hand, I can't blame them. But man, that is a machine now. Look at that thing. That is massive. They've even got the graders out here. And here you are with the old school graders. That one is actually engine driven with hydraulics. That's pretty cool. So is this one. But this right here is back in the day where you've got the old hand cranks. So you'd stand up back here and crank the wheels on it to make all your adjustments on the blade and everything. I've spent many hours on a road grader, but I had a Huber maintainer that I ran, taking care of about 8 miles of private dirt roads. It had hydraulics, thankfully. And then that's a terracer, so that's a little guy. Very nice stuff. I'm surprised Oliver hasn't been chasing me down to tell me that we need one of these. Check it out. They've got the corn shelling operation going just like it was 1940. So this is a portable style corn crib. It's all your ear corn. I'll start over on the other side. So there's the ear corn coming out of the field. Who knows how many hundred corn pickers have been picking it. Heading up a John Deere conveyor. They got an 80 dump cart there catching the dropping. That's pretty cool. So there's your stuff that kind of gets knocked off on the way up. Looks like a 3-horse running the conveyor, going into a portable crib. Comes out of the crib, down another conveyor, up to a corn sheller. And they've got that corn sheller dumping it into the gravity wagon. You're fine. Little John Deere 112 with a PTO attachment. Running the auger. And then there's your cob coming out of the sheller, going up into a four-carbon wagon. Little round fender 110, PTO attachment. And then when they get that full, they can crank that stuff out. Go up the conveyor and back on the field. Nice little auger wagon there. Check this out. I just saw this, so they've got that, and they spread that back on the field and get it plowed under. But would you look at this attachment? That is cool. I have never seen that before, and I reckon that's for when you don't have a PTO. You can park the tractor on top of that, and it's like a little treadmill. That is a really cool setup right there. All right, here's another operation running full tilt. They don't have any ear corn dumping in the crib at the moment. But there is a big old crib right there. Got your ear corn coming out of the crib, going up in the cellar. Look at the steam engine just cranking away. These guys got some nice trucks to go along with their display here. It's a little dusty over here. Look at that. These little offset Olivers are pretty cool tractors. A lot like the Farmall Cubs and Farmall A's for cultivating with. Nice little case. Yeah, check out the steam engine. This operation's not running at the moment, but it's a little bit more modern setup. And then further on down the runway right there, I believe that's where they just bring the shelled corn in. I don't know if they're shelling over there or not. They might be bringing the corn off the combines that's already been shelled in there, and then they run it up into that big old grain buggy that's behind that quad track. I've actually got to drive that before when Hyler Bracey owned it. Pretty cool tractor right there. Nice 3010. Nice 3020 too. I'm a big fan of the roll guard and canopy option. There's a cool shot of Earthquake. So they're pulling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 bottoms. This ground out here is hard too, and that thing doesn't really have much of a problem jerking it through the field. They have some awesome equipment here at this show. The renters brought out this awesome 7520. I've got video of it out there in the field working. Got a Detroit in it. Monster LSW tires. Look at that thing. It is loud too, let me tell you. You know it's coming down through the field. You know, that Detroit there been turning fuel into noise since 1938, is what I like to say. These guys also put on an awesome show. They do their show every other year opposite of Rantoul. I was out there last year, had a really good time. Oliver and I actually got the opportunity to ride in a Big Bud. It was an HN 250 out there plowing the field. That was pretty cool. I don't know if I'll make it this year or not. I got some other shows we're trying to do. Let me say next year, that is. Check out the Farmall with the little V8 cat motor in it. That's pretty cool. Check out the Steiger here with the disc. I think I got some footage of this out in the field working. Got a cat motor in it. 3406B, I think. Pretty sweet ride. I don't think I'd have had room for that in the disc on my trailer. Here's John Renner's 5020 with the Detroit. He brings this tractor out about every show. I say every show. It's pretty much always here at Rantoul. The parade's going on right now too. There's a nice yellow 830 riding by out there. I can't tell from here if it's an actual industrial or not. Let's see if we can get a little closer. Yeah, it looks like it's an actual industrial. Pretty slick. That's a nice tractor. I'm going to try to get over to the John Deere area here in a little bit and walk around on some of the display tractors. Now is not the time to do that though, because they're all driving in the parade. Here's another Steiger. What motor are they running? Looks like a Cummins. Yes. Ah, there it is. Let's see, 280 horsepower. What is it? It looks like it's a. Yeah, there it is. It's a NT 855. So it's the same size motor that's in my Peterbilt. Mine's a 400. Big cam. Well, she's not doing too bad. Made a couple rounds. Now I can say I've done it. I'm going to, it's running a little warm. I'm gonna check that out here in a minute, but I'm gonna keep running and it's doing okay. got John running the camera, and he's over here hollering at Tom to slow down or speed up. But they're getting it done. Dang, she's digging a little bit now. Look at that. Probably got too much air in the tires. So when you think you're the coolest guy in the parking lot, and then this guy shows up. The renters definitely have some nice equipment. And it's pretty cool to see these guys that bring this stuff out to the show. I mean, there's a ton of equipment here and a ton of people that put the effort into bringing it. And you wouldn't have shows like this if these guys didn't go the extra mile to bring stuff. And this big equipment takes a lot of doing to get it here. That's for sure. I mean, well, to be honest with you, it took a lot of doing for me to get the old 2020 here. But she's here. The old disc did good. I'm gonna run it some more this afternoon. But just, I mean, it's unbelievable. If you've never been here before, you gotta figure out how to get here sometime. At this point, even if you don't bring a tractor, if all you do is bring another side-by-side and ride around and check it all out, it's sure worth seeing. I mean, just the size of tractors that are out here in the parade right now is crazy. You go to a normal tractor show, and I've been to many of them, and you go to a normal tractor show, and most of the time, you can't even fit a Steiger down the road to drive in the tractor parade. And then look at it. There goes one right now, Steiger Panther. PTA 325. Yep, just easing down through there. The main roads of this place are runways from a retired military base, and they are each a mile long. So there is plenty of room here. Well, that'll do it for episode 1. I really appreciate you guys watching. As always, like and subscribe. Stay tuned to the channel. We'll definitely have more from the half century of progress. And then, you know, hopefully we'll be fixing some tractors and stuff soon.